Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at Polythemus, which is going to allow you to make any of your AUv3 mono synths, and in this case Monolit by BLEASS, the new one, which is free, polyphonic. So at the moment I've got 4 notes selected. You select notes here anywhere up to 8. So we could go 8 note poly if you like. So we're going to go, let's do this by hand. So 1, 2, 3, what? 4, that was fiddly. 4 notes. Okay, so, and I have 4 monoliths and I have chordboard playing Polythemus. Now I'm going to show you how to set this up, but it sounds like this. This is a patch I made in the stream the other night. Okay, sounds nice. So the MIDI input, if we open it up here, you'll see is chordboard. I'll take that off and put it onto my key step. And now it's just like a polyphonic monolit. Now you have to have 4 of these. And here's another tip before I go. Actually, I'll do this. No, I'll set a new one off from scratch. So what we need to do is, what I'll do is I'll remove this channel, tap to confirm, remove channel, tap to confirm, remove channel, tap to confirm. So let's just pretend, and I'll also remove chordboard, and I'll leave this connected to my 1 monolit. Right. First thing to do with Polythemus is connected to my key step. Okay, and the first one here, it doesn't really matter. At first, we can disconnect it from Polythemus 1, but you'll see there are 8 to choose from. Okay, so the first thing to do is open your mono synth, right, and find a sound that you would like to use before you do anything else, right? So just find some sort of sound. I'll go and find one from mine that's, I know it'll be okay. So maybe this, and I'm going to just quickly hook this up to the key step. Let's open it up and have a look, and just make a few adjustments. Give it a little bit of release, I suppose. So anyway, so that's the sound, right? I want that sound to be polyphonic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tap on this, right? And I'm going to duplicate it. Now this saves you having to reset the sound every single time. So duplicate and duplicate. And we're going to make a 3-note polyphonic synthesizer, okay? So now I'm going to disconnect this from the key step and I'm going to connect it to Polythemus number 1. Then I'm going to connect this one to Polythemus number 2. And I'm going to connect this one to Polythemus number 3. Then I'm going to make sure that my MIDI input is the Arturia key step on Polythemus. And now I have these 3 notes. Now you'll see I can take this one off, right? This number 4. So let's see if I can just quickly do that. Right, there you go. So now I only have 3 notes, and you have control over the velocity. You have different voice allocation modes. Now this gets really interesting when you start to change voices. But right now in this configuration, you have a 3-note polysynth. And it works by the first note you press on your keyboard will play this one, the second note will play this, and then the 3rd note will play this, and that's how it works. Which is very clever and very nice, especially if you want a real quick polyphonic sound from one of your mono synths. Now here's another tip for you guys as well. Let's do this. Let's open. Now this is going to save you applying effects to everything. Let's just choose this. Got to go mix bus A. You can choose any mix bus you like. The output for this, we're going to send to mix bus A. And the output for this, we're going to send to mix bus A. And then we're going to send the mix bus to the output to that to mix bus A as well. And now we have control over all three with one fader, which also means that we can apply now, because Monolit doesn't have any special effects, we can apply, say, for instance, just quickly black hole to all three of them. Now, you could apply, if you wanted to, different effects to each one, and that would be really interesting. So if we make, and this is where you're going to start creating really interesting sounds. Say, for instance, we put a BLEASS chorus just on this first one, and you'll hear it now. Okay. In fact, let's make it something we can... Right, we can really hear that one from Sound of Israel. But on this second one, if I play another note now on my MIDI keyboard, there's no effect on that. So if we were to put, say, something like, I don't know, a BLEASS delay on that second one. So first one's chorus, second one's got a delay on it. Third one might have a BLEASS reverb on it. Okay, so just for a moment, let's remove these and I'll show you something else you can do as well. So say, for instance, you change the patch. I'll put this Vangelis brass patch back on the second one. So the first one, second one's going to be the brass. And then you could change the third one to something completely different as well. Maybe something from Dean, this one. Something with less movement. Okay, so that now. So first note, this sound. Second note, I play. But if I take my hand off the MIDI keyboard, so it's only ever going to play the first synth. Because it's polyphonic, if I play a chord, it's going to be a mixture of all three. Also very, very interesting. Let's do this. If you go into Polythemus now, and you will see voice allocation mode, next free. That literally means how it was playing. Play one and it'll play the next free voice. If we switch this to round robin, every time I press a key, it's going to scale through these three sounds. So press one. So I'm going to just, this Vangelis brass thing, I'm going to take the attack down. Maybe change the sound on this one to something more. See, so. You can get some really interesting stuff going on. It's really very cool. And like I said, again, there are a couple of other options. There is keep lowest, so and which is kind of self up, and keep highest, and then random, but it will never pick the same note randomly. And you can have this up to 8 voices, so you could have up to 8 voice poly. You also, right, and this is a really interesting, you don't need the same synth. You could swap this out for something else, you know, like another mono synth or a poly synth. It does some cool stuff with poly synths too, but I won't get into that now. Just wanted to show you how you could make use of the Polythemus to make it, any mono synth, polyphonic, but you could do other things with it as well, obviously, of course. I've got a couple of videos on doing a few different things with Polythemus as well. So yeah, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you find it useful and fun, something fun to mess around with, and can do interesting things, especially if you start sequencing stuff through Polythemus. Like, you know, when I set it up originally with Chordbud, you know, set it up with something like Zoa or something, see what happens. Anyway, bless you all. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please consider becoming a Patreon. Check Polythemus out. And yeah, awesome stuff. I'll see you guys later. Ta-da.